Okay, that's the end of the Oregon Trail right there. We'll get a closer look. Between the years of 1840 and 1860, 500,000 settlers came over on a 2,170-mile trail. The trail started in Missouri and ended here in Oregon City. Most of the pioneers lived out of their wagons until they were able to finish building a cabin. This is what some of them look like. Here's an old prairie schooner. That's what they called some of the first wagons that came over on the trail. Lewis and Clark, fur trappers, traders, and merchants were among the first people to forge the trail. This is a building that simulates an old wagon. It's pretty cool. It's huge. It used to be covered up there, but due to the weather, it was just too much to maintain. By 1836, the first migrant wagon train was organized. The pioneers set out on a treacherous journey in hopes of reaching Oregon's fertile land. All right, into the Oregon Trail. This is underneath. This is a museum we're walking around. It's at the end of the Oregon Trail. There's an old wagon. This is the back side of the museum. You can walk all the way around it. There's little signs, information signs throughout. Looks like we're coming up on one. Setting up camp, that's what we like to do. Look at these guys. Not one of them has a smile on their face. Their wagons had 10 by 3.5 foot bodies, and the wheels were usually 4 to 5 feet in diameter. The wagon wheels were belted with steel, and sometimes, when the wood would shrink, the steel belt would come off. Essentially, that's the tire of the wagon. Coming up on a canoe made by the Native Americans. This is the same type of dugout canoe that Clark used to travel down the Columbia River. Some old wagon parts. Okay, we're here at the John McLaughlin house. Let's get a closer look. Very cool. We're gonna walk around to the side yard. Looks like there's some headstones here. Take a look at them. Here's the side of his house. Alright, there it is. Zoom in. It's a pretty big house. Alright, so I brought you guys here to the Willamette Falls so you can see how they built a lumber mill back then. We'll take a peek. There's the falls. It's all abandoned now. They closed it down, I think, a couple years ago. There's the falls, Willamette Falls right there. Back in the 1800s, a couple steamboats went over into the falls. The journey for these pioneers was not easy. 1 in every 10 died on the Oregon Trail. The pioneers usually walked alongside their wagon due to the bumpy ride. Alright, so we finally found the Kenema Cemetery, or at least the entrance to it. Looks like we gotta walk in. This is where the pioneers were buried. So hopefully we can get in. It's kind of a challenge just finding this place. Roar! You can see we're kind of up on a bluff. Wow, look at all these ferns. Alright, not sure exactly how far I gotta walk down here, but this is where the Pioneer Cemetery is gonna be, where some of the pioneers from the Oregon Trail are buried. So, pretty excited. Looks like we got some oak trees over here. Oh look, oak balls, oak apples they call them. Alright, we've come to a gate with some barbed wire. The lady gave me a code, but it looks like it needs a key. What? Wait. Aha. Alright. Let's get the code in there. Alright, we found it and we got in the gate. Let's go take a look at some of the pioneers. painter family here. Look what we found. Looks like an old original wagon, part of one. Pretty cool. Oh, maybe this actually is something else. Looks like it's some kind of a trailer. Kind of cool to imagine back in the 1900s and even 1800s, people walking around here and actually digging these graves. Born 1880. Let's see what this says. Woman of woodcraft. So you can kind of see through those trees, but that's the Willamette River down there. Cemetery overlooks. It's actually really peaceful. Looks like that one broke off. Let's see if we could find a really old one. Oh, 1865. Off. You can see they broke off right here and they just have them laying flat. Okay, this one's 1837. Born in. This is a wife's grave. And looks like 1832. These are the graves of the Oregon Trail pioneers. Okay, this is the oldest that we've found, 1813, that they were born. So they definitely came over on the Oregon Trail, or he did. Oh no, this is the wife of William Fouts. Wow. Yeah, that's the oldest. pioneers that came over on the second wagon. And they came over on the Barlow Road route trail, which was a lot easier than going the gorge way, Columbia Gorge, because they had to float down rafts. This was a church that they built back in, I think, 1856. And then over there, you can see the cabin. Let's go check it out. Looks like an old water pump. Cool. Here's the cabin. Built in, I think, 1846 by Horace Baker. They lived out of their wagon while they built this. But the interesting thing is they didn't use any nails or anything. Oh, here's what the Baker family looks like. Really neat. So it looks like they got a wagon in here. Oh, it's the mud wagon. Awesome, it's the mud wagon. Peek in there, it's kind of dark. Here, let's see. The mud wagon. Some old stuff up there hanging up that they used for their oxes or horses. Check out this thing. Looks like they got a large gear and it turns. What is this thing? Oh, grinding rock. So this is one of their grinding rocks right over here. Let's check it out. Wow. It's pretty cool. It's really symmetrical. Okay, let's take a walk around this baker's cabin. You could see the timbers. They were hewed and they were squared off. That way they didn't have to use nails. Looks like we got a staircase here. And it looks like you cannot go up there.
for Calvin.